Right, Tony, here we are looking at your technique. I'm just going to go to your original swing with the driver. You've told me that you've got a little bit of a problem with your shots fading away to the right, particularly over the opening part of your round, until things fall into place. And what you're going to see here, if we compare it with Rory McIlroy, for example, it's a pretty harsh comparison in all fairness, is that as McIlroy comes through and his club gets to the target, which is the classic extension position, you can see that his arms have stayed extended and rolled over. The toe of the club points up when the shaft points to the target. And critically, we can see his entire left shoulder. Now, when we go into your swing, you'll see that as you come through impact, your left shoulder disappears, which is a sign that your body is going very quickly, and you haven't released your hands here. Now, there is a general balance between body and arm speed. If your arms go fast and overtake the body, the ball will be a low, smothered hook. If your body goes too fast and your arms lag behind, which is what's happened here, the ball will go to the right. So there's always a balance between body and arm speed, and you have got a fast body. I mean, to basically have your body in a more advanced position than Rory McIlroy, who's generally acknowledged as one of the more flexible pros out there, is quite severe. Now, it's a good thing to have an active body through impact, so I'm not asking you to stop, but we do need to slow it down and speed your arms up relative to it. So, first of all, I got you to perform a drill. This was with the 8-iron. Simply feeling like the club got to the target before your body did. I asked you to get the sensation of kissing the inside of your wrists together in the follow-through. And if you were doing this in front of a mirror, directly in front of you, when you kissed your forearms just there, your left shoulder would still be visible. You're going to have to hit a lot of half shots while you become familiar with this movement, but ultimately that position right there is fantastic. And that was your first or second effort. If you inadvertently go to full swings, you're going to lose the sensation of what you're doing, and you'll ultimately be back to square one. And we don't want that, because as long as your body goes tearing through and you don't use your arms properly, you'll always have that shot that goes off to the right, and you'll never really achieve the power that you deserve from your swing. So that was very good. And then we get a little dose of reality. And a dose of reality is always a bit of a shock to the system. When I showed you this, you seemed a little frustrated with yourself, and this shot did go a touch to the left. Now, just to compare it with your original, this was your original swing with the driver. I know driver has a lot of force to it, but you can see that even the inside of your wrists are just a long, long way apart, maybe 4 or 5 inches apart. This was your first effort. I asked you to make half a swing. You inadvertently made a bigger swing, which is what everybody does. Now, it has obviously improved with your arm swing. I'd go so far as to say the toe of the club is nearly pointing up. It's slightly being held open by the lack of rotation of the forearms. There's an old adage that you shake hands with the target. And if you imagine, if you were shaking hands with a target, your right arm would point straight to the target, and the palm of your hand would face left, and the back of your hand would face right. And basically, as you look at the line of your hand, it would be perfectly vertical. It wouldn't be palm down, it wouldn't be palm up, it would just be shaking hands with the target. And you're nearly there. Right. Certainly the image on the left is a long way away. So it had improved, but the fact that your left shoulder still disappeared would indicate that a strong body turn, which is what you've still got, and the correct release of the hands and arms, you're going to hit a lot of shots left, and this one did go left. So when you stand in front of a mirror, just be aware that you want to see your left shoulder. The release of your hands and arms is quite an accessible kind of swing thought, because we're all quite skilled with our hands and arms. We can write our names and we can tie shoelaces. You can manipulate quite easily. But you can't see your body when you're swinging a golf club, sort of out of your peripheral vision, so you don't get a sense of what you're doing. Use a mirror. If you get any shots that go tearing off to the left, just ask yourself, well, was that my body still going round too fast? Maybe if you're practicing next to James or Simon Bells there, anyone, I know there are certain guys that will always help you, and you tell them what it is you're working at. They'll obviously give you some feedback, but lots and lots of half shots. I think with this video, and with you knowing what your shots mean now a little bit more, and doing lots of half swings, you'll make some really big improvements. But you need to create, knowledge is really a very small part of the equation. That knowledge has to turn into feel. Doing lots of half shots, feeling that you're doing it right, and then incrementally building up to a 60% swing, a 70% swing, 80%, all the way up to 100%. If you get it right at 50%, then try and hit a full shot, you won't be able to maintain the feel, and you will almost certainly drift back to your old swing. But in the meantime, if someone does a video of your swing and you want to send it to me, I'll always tell you what your progress is like. But it's going to be an interesting balance as you try to slow your body down a little bit, speed your arms up. Yeah. So I'm going to cut that off. Is there any questions you want to ask before I send that to you?
About this position, this arm, should it be tucked? Sometimes when I try, I get it a bit too.
It's because your body is going so fast.
Right.
If you have a really fast body and you would have developed any kind of roll of your forearms, you would have hit it at 100 yards left. You've had to develop effectively a little bit of a cover drive to make the ball go to the target. What will happen is you slow your body down a little bit, 10%, and you start to roll your arms. It will force your left elbow to roll in down towards your rib cage. It will happen naturally. But you're right to pick up on it, but it will, with what we've talked about, a whole bunch of technical stuff that you're probably aware of, will all start to fall into place. It's one of those really nice, simple swing thoughts that actually achieves a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, that's fine.